right, there he is. If you have questions for Kevin, go ahead, use the raise hand tool, and we will get to as many as we can here in the next few minutes. Andrew Schnitker, you are up first, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, looking at Syracuse, I know that you guys obviously played not that long ago, so you're two teams that obviously know each other pretty well. But with DJ not playing in that game and, supposedly available for this one, how much will that help to have him and kind of be able to throw them a different look that they didn't see the first time?
Well, Andrew, I appreciate you asking that. It's always good to have one of your better players available. How does that affect the game? How does that change the game? I don't know. When you look at the fact that, both Jericho and Manny Bates had really career nights versus Syracuse on the road. But it's good. He's our best offensive rebounder. He's a low post scorer. He's a leader in the locker room, and just having him available, certainly it's got to be a positive for our team.
James Henderson, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin. Thomas has been going through a little bit of a shooting slump. I was just wondering, watching some of his game tape back and film, is there anything particular you've highlighted that you really see maybe has led to that, or is it just sometimes shooters go through it?
Yeah, you know what? He's missing, James. And, what he's done, though, is I give him a lot of credit, is he's playing extremely hard on both ends of the floor. When you look at him, he didn't make shots against Boston College, but he had a huge block after he made a turnover. He had a huge steal that led to a layup. It's going to go in for him. I just don't know when it's going to be, and hopefully he needs to see the ball go into the hole. And once he does, then, he's a guy type of kid that can, obviously run off 3 or 4 threes. But I've wanted him to play better. He's wanted to play better. I don't think it's anything that has to do with mechanics. It's just the shot's not going in right now, and it will. I just don't know when it's going to be, and I hope it's soon.
And just to follow up, do teams, when you have him and Braxton on the court, do teams guard you differently? Like, do they stretch out the defense more, just that threat, even if they're not hitting?
Yeah, no matter what their percentages from three, you have to respect them from there. And so with those guys on the floor, it opens up our post guys to be able to score in the inside, especially Braxton Beverly. He's been, playing in this league, seems like 6 years now, even though it's 4. And his ability to make shots is one of the reasons that we are able to get some inside baskets from some of our other guys. But certainly with Thomas, with the reputation of being a shot maker, and Braxton on the floor, I think it helps our guys as far as stretching out the defense.
Thanks, Kevin.
Ethan Joyce, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, I've been asking a few of you guys this morning just about watching your team and kind of how they react to, let's say, like a disappointing performance or a loss this year, maybe as opposed to other seasons that are more normal. And I wonder, has this year made you think about how tough you can be on guys when they maybe need that push from you as a coach, but then they're also dealing with everything this season and the off season that led into it has been?
Yeah, Ethan, I've had a different outlook on, as a coach, my perspective as a coach, starting a couple years ago when I ruptured my patella tendon. It's one of those things when, as coaches, we look at kids and we say, man, are they hurt or injured? And you have a different found respect for them when you personally go through something and you can see that, how hard it is to come back. I've looked at things different from these kids. I worry about their mental health. And, certainly, these guys are competing. They're fighting their butts off. We've been dealt an unfortunate hand, number one, just like everybody else with COVID. But when you lose a player at the stage that you do in Devin Daniels, then certainly you have to be able to adjust. It's not easy. So I've understood the struggles and the challenges that some of our guys go through. And I've been able to, obviously be able to talk them through it, because it's an unusual year. No matter how much everybody tries to act like everything is normal. It's not. The way you travel, the way you do things is not normal. All of these kids signed up to come to these universities and be able to play in front of, for us, at least 22,000 people. When you walk out of the tunnel, it's nobody. It's different. It's a scrimmage every time. And so the mental health part of it, the being able to talk to them every day and understanding that the struggles that they go through. And then you don't even know some of the situations that they have to deal with their own families at home.
David Thompson, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin. Good morning. How are you?
Good, David.
Good, good. I know you guys aren't playing Duke till Saturday, but I'm just curious, how much you've gotten to see them play this year and how you feel like you match up against them.
You're right, and you're not going to get me to do that. I'm concentrating on Syracuse, which is tomorrow, and I will answer the second part of, or maybe the first part of it. I've seen everybody play because I've been able to watch film them versus other people, but you can ask me that on Wednesday and we can talk all day about it, but I've got to figure out how to solve Syracuse's zone right now.
Justin Williams, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Just looking back at that first matchup with Syracuse just a week ago, Kadary Richmond seemed to kind of be the difference in the game towards the end of the second half, played a really strong 16 minutes, and his length on the perimeter seemed to be a really real problem defensively. Is he a guy that, you specifically circle in your scouting report leading up to the second matchup with the Orange?
Well, he hurt us. We knew coming into the game defensively, he was one of the guys in his zone that did a tremendous job getting deflections and getting steals. He came in, I want to say, averaging 17 points a game, 7 points a game, and he left out there with 14. He hurt us. But that being said, they got really good players. They've got really good shot makers. And so, we're not going to just focus in on him. Their guard play in particular is really good, especially when they're making shots. But I will, as you said, Justin, he was a problem for us. He drove us to the hole, scored over us several times, got to the free throw line, and he was a huge difference in round one. And certainly we've got to do a better job of keeping him in front, not letting him get to his spots.
Thank you.
All right. We'll get one final question from Ken Segura. Ken, go ahead.
Kevin, something you said made me think of something I've been asking a couple of their coaches. You said how, you go in the gym, there's no energy, no fans. You've been to a couple of places that have had fans. Do you think maybe that's been a more pronounced advantage this year than others just because kids aren't used to it?
I do. And I've joked that the venues that we've been to that had fans, it was a sellout. That's the closest thing that we're going to get to a sellout. It makes a difference. I know people don't think it does. And the two places to me that really stood out was, when we went to Clemson and we went to Florida State, they both had fans. And, it's crazy because when you have young guys like my guys, that's the first time that this year that they've ever played in front of anybody. And so, if you're able to have at least 1,000 people in your stands, I consider it a sellout. So we played in front of a few sellouts, and it does make a difference. We've got passionate fans in every university in our league, and when you're making a run and you're making shots, or you get a big steal, you make a big three, or you get a dunk, just having some energy in the building. That being said, I think everybody's taking advantage of the best situation that they have without fans. And I understand I'm not one of those guys that when we leave off the call, I want you to say, Kevin Keatts thinks that we should have fans, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it makes a difference that we don't, but I understand that why we don't. We've got a virus that we have to get under control. When our fans come back, it'll be a big treat, but we do miss them.
Thank you.